We don't. Go, you want me to go?
I'll go. So for me, this has just been an incredible journey. I couldn't have come at a better time. I had just been put into the TPM lead position, and then I was promoted in January to supervisor. So having this leadership program has been like imperative to the past 10 months, past year or so. I think it was the first or second day of our training. I think it was Gary that said leadership is an inside out job. I took that to heart. I've made this a personal journey, not just a professional journey. Looking at how I act as a person and how I react in certain situations. I've talked a lot to Bill about how I'm a perfectionist and how this can be like, I would think that it's like a good thing. You want to do the right thing, say the right thing, but it can also hold you back in a lot of situations. To me, it can be like a paralyzing, like paralysis. I just don't do anything if I don't know if I can do it perfectly or not. So I've had to own that and work on that a lot over the past few months. He's given me the book, The Gifts of Imperfection. So I read that. I'm reading it again. I'll probably continue to read it. He sent me a bunch of articles on it, on perfectionism, and one of the key things that I took away from that is to just get started. It doesn't obviously have to be perfect right off the bat. Just get started, and then it'll go from there. So all the way down the road of perfectionism. On that, something else that I've learned, another key thing I've learned in this program is how my strengths-based leadership is harmony. I'm a peacemaker. I've always been a peacemaker. I want everyone to be happy at all times. I avoid confrontation, avoid conflict. And I thought that could be a good thing too. But as long as it's not self-serving, which I've talked a lot about with Bill, for me, sometimes things need to be said, especially in my role as a supervisor. I need to be able to speak up when something isn't going right or someone's doing something that needs to be adjusted, and it's still awkward for me. I still have the fear, but it's, having the fear but saying it anyway, because it doesn't do anyone any favors if I just keep my mouth shut. It doesn't help my team member grow. The rest of the team sees that I'm letting somebody get away with something. It doesn't help them. So, just facing it head on, thinking about what I'm going to say, try not to overthink it, because that can be a problem as well. But, just not biting my tongue and saying something if it needs to be said. I've used the SBI CA model a lot, and I'll continue to use that. It really helps me when I have to have a more difficult conversation with someone, like a sit-down conversation. I've used it a few times, and then the fierce conversations, honest, direct, timely. I keep that in mind as well. So the significant story that I have just happened a few weeks ago. I actually had to terminate someone for the first time, and as someone who hates confrontation and conflict, that obviously could have been debilitating for me. But this person had a lot of misses, and it was something that we just couldn't avoid. It could have been potentially bad for business. So, it wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't my decision, but I would have probably made the same decision. But it went as well to be expected. He accepted full responsibility for his actions. But for me, I could have taken it as, how did I fail at my job? Like, what did I do wrong? I could have taken all the blame on myself, and I, could have started going down that road, and I did a little bit, but I worked on my self-talk, my emotional intelligence, and worked on accepting responsibility for what could have been my, what was my fault and what wasn't my fault. And but then I learned from it. How can I grow from this? What do I need to put in place so something like this doesn't happen again? So, you know, taking accountability for my actions, but then also compassionate accountability for my team members as well. What I want to commit to continue working on is my emotional intelligence, the self-management, and my self-talk. I feel like that's always going to be a work in progress. It's just like a mental going to the gym, always working on something. And then also the time management and spending more time in quadrant 2. This is especially going to be important for me professionally going forward, and making sure that I have all the processes in place with my team to make sure we don't have any oversights. But you know, spending more time on the important stuff, but not necessarily urgent stuff, but stuff that we need to pay attention to. Trusting but verifying if Pat is listening, and doing that with my team. So I just want to say thank you to you guys. This has been an incredible journey. I appreciate all of you. Bill, you've been amazing. But yeah, thank you guys.